y'all, it's Tammy. In our first volume cookbook, we have a tomato sauce meatloaf. It's a lot like what Chris ate growing up, but my mother made more of a beefy meatloaf with a tomato topping, so we're gonna make that tonight. But let's get started. We're gonna start out with 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And this is not ground chuck, it's ground beef. So it's gonna have some fat in it, okay? So we're gonna start out with the ground beef, and we're gonna put in a container of Lipton. Well, this is an off-brand, but it's an onion soup mix, okay? And now we're gonna use an egg. And I'm gonna rinse my hands off right quick before I touch the spices. We're gonna put in a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And we're gonna put in a whole teaspoon of salt. And that's a heaping one. And remember, the Lipton onion will have some salt in it as well. We're gonna use some Worcestershire. Some of y'all get on to me for the way I say that. How are you supposed to say it, Chris?
I don't know.
Worcester.
You're wasting your time looking at that.
Worcester.
No, it's nothing at all. Like, just say it the way you say it.
Oh, anyway, we're gonna get out some Worcestershire sauce. And we're gonna put in a couple of shakes. 5 or 6, actually, for that much ground beef. We're gonna put in a little bit of this Badea roasted garlic powder. So I'll shake in about, I'd say 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm also going to put crackers in it. When me and Chris first met, he told me real quick like he didn't like the oatmeal in his meatloaf, because now if you use oatmeal, most of the time it's instant quick oatmeal, even if you get it in a large container, and it makes it kind of have a slimy taste, and he doesn't like that. Let's just say about a 1/2 sleeve of crackers. How's that? These are Zesta. Daddy always liked Zesta. Just saltines, okay? I think I'm gonna use 2 eggs since I got that many crackers. And the only way you can mix up a meatloaf and do a good job is with your hands. And if y'all want to take the time and try to do it with something else, you can go ahead, but I'm just gonna tell you, nothing works better than hands for meatloaf. And a lot of different things, really. So you're gonna want to really mix this in there good. You can't do that with a spoon, not with these type of ingredients. You would be here so much longer trying to get everything in there and dispersed evenly. It smells so good already. It's not even, it's raw meat and it smells so good. Another meatloaf that's really, really good we'll make sometime for y'all is a Mexican meatloaf. It's really good too. All right, so we're just gonna take this meatloaf. Just wanna make sure I got it mixed up really good. And I don't really wanna put this out on my cutting board because it's more for veggies. So I'm gonna try to just form it in the bowl as much as I can. And if you want to get out a plate or something to put it on and form it on it, you can. But this should work fine. Make sure you take your rings off before you make a meatloaf, okay? Now we're going to put it down in here. And now I'm going to make it more the size of the pan. And it did make that fall down in there, but it is going to hold it up. We're going to get this in the oven and bake it. We're going to bake it. I like to bake my meatloaf on like 375 because I like for it to get nice and brown on the outside. So I'm going to bake this at 375 and it's going to bake 45 minutes minimum. Okay, so we're going to put this in there. After the 45 minutes, I'm going to take it out, put a topping on it. Let's mix up a topping, y'all. We got 3/4 cup of ketchup. You can't have meatloaf without ketchup on top of it, not here anyway. So I'm going to use some brown sugar and put in here, I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Whoops. So it's a tablespoon per quarter cup of ketchup. That way you can reduce it or make it bigger if you want to. And this is a half teaspoon of onion powder. So it's not got salt in it, y'all. Remember that. Onion powder. Just a half teaspoon. Just enough to give it just a little bit of a good flavor. Ketchup's already got spices in it. So putting that half teaspoon of onion powder and that sugar in there will just make it glaze and be really, really good. That's it, y'all. Yummy. Okay, y'all, take a look at the way this pan works. You can see the oil's in the bottom instead of it sitting in the oil. And this was the cheaper ground beef. I'm going to lift it up and kind of let you take a look underneath it. And look, your meatloaf is nice and formed. Okay, so I am going to put the topping on it. That's a really cool thing. I think that was the neatest pan. And I found that when I was looking for cookware to go on my website, and I loved it so much I had to get me one. I thought that is the coolest thing ever. But this should be plenty of topping for our meatloaf. It's really too much, but we'll use it anyway. So if you had a 13 by 9, this would probably be enough for even a 13 by 9. It's really so much I can't even put it all on here. Okay. All right. We're gonna let that cook about 5 to 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes. Let's get it out. Oh yeah. Looking good, sounding good. We're about to make a cake. Here's our supper. Can't have meatloaf without creamed potatoes and green beans. You just can't. It's part of the rules. All right, let's serve it up. It looks real pretty. Slid right off to your serving plate. This would be nice to cook for company, I think. So now how am I going to get that off? Right? Slide it down a little bit. I didn't do the greatest job transferring that piece, so we're going to try again. This one's better. Let's let it stand up for a second.